Hey everybody, here is the Grumpy Scotsman to do another watch topic with you. And what we're going to be discussing today is how to identify a fake Rolex. Um, Clearly, for educational purposes, what we have before you is uh, a fake Rolex. And these are getting extremely scary and hard to decipher from the real thing, especially if you've never owned one. Maybe your education in the Rolex world are um, handling real Rolex pieces is limited. So that's what we're going to be doing here, is helping everybody out so you don't go down that precarious path of losing a ton of money, because Rolex is now, this particular watch in front of you is the Batman, and this watch right now in 2024 is going anywhere between 14 to $20,000. I mean, it's all subjective. It's really where you're from. America, Canada, it could be Australia. You're going to be paying different prices everywhere. Depends on the market, but it is a lot of money to lose. So let's get into it. So this model here, you can identify it many ways. Let's just get into identifying case size. It's always good to have some kind of reference, and if you can't actually take a model with you, if you're going to see a watch in person, I always like to say print a bunch of pictures in high quality, like high def quality. Print those pictures so you have them, so you can reference it next to the piece. Have different kind of ways that you can view the case size, because there's a lot of tellability in how you can see the case. For instance, right away you can tell that this is fake due to the crown guards. The crown guards here. Yeah. So you can see that they're just shaped off. They're not, that's not how the case is. And really, if you were to hold it against an actual reference, you would see that, yeah, that's quite a bit off. It doesn't match it. It's not a great copy, that's for sure. It's not a horrible copy. There's copies out there that are, pretty much identical. But there's also ones like this where you can tell right away by the case. And this is one of them. You can also tell by the date magnifier. So another way to tell is that date magnifier is supposed to magnify the date underneath it 2.5 times. Right now, this date magnifier is probably, maybe at best, magnifying it ×1. And so when it's magnifying it 2.5 times, it literally fills the entire Cyclops. When you're looking at it dead on like this, it fills the whole thing. So that's one way. The shape of the case is another. When you have these ceramic bezels like this, those little cutouts or etchings into the ceramic bezel are extremely deep. You can tell on this one here, it's not very deep at all. Yeah, sorry about all the dust in here. Holy man, it is so dusty in my office. Yeah, so these are always deep. This is not deep. That's another way to tell. Another way is by the action of the bezel. This is pretty loosey-goosey. It doesn't have defined clicks that are audible. You would have that in a real Rolex. They're nice and snappy. It always aligns. This doesn't align. You have to bring it back a little. Real Rolex does not do that. Another way to tell is here in the sapphire crystal. You can't really see it here, but maybe you can. Let me see. You can't see it. But basically, inside of the sapphire, it is laser etched. So if you were to hold a flashlight and shine it there, it pops up. Now, a lot of these fakes have it, but it is poor quality. So even if it pops up, you have to really examine it and make sure that it is of pristine laser etch quality and that it doesn't look questionable at all. This one, you can't see it in the video. It looks like crap. So they do have it in the sapphire, but it looks awful. Another thing to consider here is the bracelet. Now this bracelet, it is garbage. This isn't the greatest, this isn't really the greatest replica out there, but this is literally just for educational purposes. Like you can tell, this etching here is off. It looks cheap. The real one has nice, clean, defined etchings. Even when you bring this out, this is all cheap in here. It's not cleaned up. You can see there's tool marks right here. You never have that on the real Rolex. Real Rolex are going to be machined perfect. You're not going to have big, thick machining marks in here like that. This ball here is going to be actually a ceramic ball bearing, which I believe you don't even see here. It's hidden inside here. And then when this comes over, that ceramic ball bearing that's hidden in here nicely fits in the hole here. Another thing, another way you can tell is that these screwed in links, so on here you can tell this is real crap, but on a real Rolex bracelet, oyster bracelet, these are machined perfectly flush, and you can literally run your finger across there, and all you're really going to feel is the etching in the thread. You're not going to feel any divot or anything like that. It's going to be flawless, perfect. They're not going to be sunken in and different heights all over. And of course, goes without saying, but every real Rolex on the back should be free and clear of markings and etchings and all sorts of stuff like that. You're not going to have writing on there like Daytona winner and all that kind of crap that you see with fakes. So this replica, this fake, does not have any etchings. So it's kind of a sub-tier replica. It's not the worst, but it's also definitely not the best. Another way is on a GMT. Well, especially, so you look at the date, like look at how misaligned that 2 is, nearly sitting on the bottom of the date window. On a real Rolex calendar wheel, you're going to have it perfectly centered, and It's going to be aligned in the middle. And then another way to check is when you're, so you pull it all the way out and you want to bring it to change the date. Real Rolex will snap precisely on 12 o'clock. You can tell that this is already starting to change. So bingo, fake instantly. As soon as you see that, it's fake. A real Rolex calendar wheel will not switch over at all until 12 o'clock dead. So the fact that it's nearly over right now, see, and like look at that three is like so misaligned, and the 3 itself, it looks horrible. Like that looks like an M if you were to go like this, and a shitty M at that. No, it's not great. Another way to tell is, so this particular fake came with let me get that in there. It came with box and papers, and it came with a gift handbag and everything. So they're really going the extra mile to make these seem real to the unassuming person. So this came with it inside of the, I mean, this is pretty old. Like, even the brochures that they make are off, right? So you open it up and you have all sorts of stuff in here. But you can tell this is pretty dated, whatever they decided to use here. And then this came with it. I mean, this is an older one that you would find back in the 80s, early 90s. It just folds out just as a warranty. So that's how that comes. They also go the extra mile nowadays, and they send these pamphlets inside here. You get like a little card. A real giveaway is like, you know, it's not stamped by an actual jeweler. It doesn't have the model number on there. It should have a serial number on there by Rolex, like not one that can be written, but one that is actually written by Rolex themselves, which you can then reference on the bottom there, and they should be identical. That's not a good way to tell solely. They also send this service manual, which is written incorrectly as well. Yeah, so there's a lot of, and then they send this little hand tag as well, and it all comes in what looks to be like a green Rolex box, which is, you know, pretty concerning that they go that distance. This is from one of my older Rolexes that I sold a while ago, but this is an official one, and this is an older one. And then on the back, it actually has, you know, it actually has a barcode. And then down there, it has the serial number and stuff like that. And then that's the watch number, which you can actually reference. You would notice that the fake didn't have this. On a real one here, I have an old bracelet from my old Submariner. And so if you were to take a genuine bracelet off, so this is a genuine bracelet that got trashed. I was in an accident and this bracelet was part of it. So I kept it, but yeah, it's no longer good, but it's a genuine bracelet from an older Submariner, Rolex Subby. But you can see in there, that's a genuine bracelet. Will have that. So if you pop off the bracelet and check that out, It's going to have all sorts of coordinating numbers that need to line up. And like anything should line up. So in the Rohot down here, you're going to have what should be your watch number. Now this is on newer models. On older models, it's going to be, if you pop the lug out, you're going to have it on the case, and you'll be able to reference what year it was manufactured in and everything. If you're truly in doubt, I suggest going through to an authorized dealer, offer paying them $100 to $200 to open up the case back, reference that what you might be purchasing is genuine, and that the movement adds up to what is supposed to be in that watch. Because a lot of times people are selling older models as Franken watches, meaning that they're taking bits and pieces from all over, things that shouldn't be in the watch itself, and they're selling them like that, which makes kind of a worthless model, to very undesirable to get back out of it. So just do your homework. Oftentimes, I'm going to tell you the truth. If it seems too good to be true, then it's too good to be true 99.9% of the time. And it's very, very rare that you come across something that is spectacular and just mind-blowing that you just got such a great deal. So question everything. You have to. We live in a day and age where people are trying to get away with bloody murder. So you got to question everything and do your homework, do your due diligence, and your purchasing experience with your Rolexes will be absolutely perfect and on par. Cheers. Thank you, everybody, for listening to my banter, and feel free to leave me a comment.